My husband was very abusive. I rushed into the relationship because there was somebody there to help me with my kids. We were only married a little over a year before I found out that I was pregnant. I just called the first place that popped up when I did the Google search.
I had a lot of friends in high school. We're going on birth control. We're starting to have sex, and everyone just kind of said, well, you know, you don't want your parents to find out you're on birth control. You can just go to Planned Parenthood and you'll be fine. So that's what I did. I didn't even really think twice about that decision.
It was a point in time in my life, going to my mid-30s, and I accepted it in my heart that being a mother would never be possible for me.
What do you mean, Mom?
Let's go.
What did he do wrong?
He has to go left.
Yes.
I kept telling myself that what I was doing was for my children that was already here, because I needed to basically make an escape plan, and we couldn't do that with me being pregnant.
Reading my journal page. I slammed my book shut.
I just didn't want to make my kids suffer anymore behind any decisions that I made. It was like just a little horror film in my mind about what was going to actually happen with me, my body, and this baby, you know. Judy called me back to the room. She asked me a little bit about my situation, and I explained to her everything with my husband, everything that I was scared of. And she just let me go on and on about this abortion that I wanted. And then she just politely told me that the JB2 Life Center was not an abortion clinic. Took me back to get the ultrasound, and I saw the baby. I got real emotional, and I realized that I wanted my child. It was just an instant thing, like, you know, I have a baby, really. I remember her just telling me how strong I was. She didn't know me. She reminded me that I'm a mother and I can do it. She told me about places that my children and I could go to, number one, get away from my husband, and for us to be housed so that my fear of us being homeless, I didn't have to worry about that. If the first place that I went to would have been an abortion clinic, I would have definitely followed through, because I thought that that was the way to solve my problem. I'm so happy that it wasn't, that wasn't the place that I thought that I wanted to go to, because I have a blessing now. My son is such a blessing. When you are scared and sad, you really don't think past what's going on in your life at that moment. Being scared is normal, but there's a place that you can go to so you can find some support and help get over those feelings of frustration and fear, and thinking that there's nothing more that you can do besides taking a life.
Once I was on birth control, I felt farther and farther away from the values that I grew up with. I had a boyfriend who was not supportive. At a certain point, I was shocked to even look in the mirror and see the type of person that I was. Once that relationship was over, there was nothing emotionally stopping me from getting off birth control completely. Once I was off birth control is when I realized what it had done to my body. I gained a bunch of weight. I was really stressed out and anxious, and I felt kind of adrift, depressed. And then I wasn't getting my period. It had numbed me. It had become a blockage between my fertility, what was naturally happening in my body, and my awareness of it. It was upsetting when I couldn't really get an answer about what was going to happen to me now that it was out of my system. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out, you know, is there something wrong with me? Is it going to come back? I heard about an event at the University Catholic Center I went and Dr. Calamarides was there giving a presentation about various NFP methods, and it blew my mind. I was really surprised. The VT Clinic and the JP2 Life Center are really there for young women and filling a void that has been neglected in all other forms of medicine. I remember I called up Matt, my boyfriend, and I was like, Matt, we got to talk about this. I just felt like there was so much knowledge we had never, I certainly had never really talked about. Our wedding is going to be January 7th, back in Southern California, where both of our families are. I feel really fortunate to have learned all of this before I'm entering into marriage. I really feel so blessed.
We met at a Texas State Bobcats softball game. It was fate.
Here we are at 39. I met the right person, and I was just so excited.
Here I was in my late 40s, and the thought of being a dad, like, oh, I can do this.
That was so important to me, to even start a family or thinking about raising a family. But when we stumbled and fell through 3 pregnancies, unsuccessful pregnancies, and I felt, hurt, loss, betrayal, that I waited so long to marry the right person, and here I want to start a family, and it wasn't happening. I felt like we were in this big bubble by ourselves, alone. There was an advertisement on the bulletin of Sarah's Hope, and which was a support group for couples struggling to conceive and couples experiencing recurrent miscarriages. And I immediately just looked at Danny and I was like, we're not alone. The support group met at the John Paul II Life Center. It all changed when we first met Dr. Calamarides. It was like he was there for us. And the visit, could take as long as it needed to.
He never rushed us. We didn't want to leave.
We didn't.
we wouldn't want to leave the office.
When we did get pregnant, right away he put us on progesterone injections.
2 days before Valentine's Day, the nurse checked the blood pressure and it was high. She called Dr. K in, and he went from the happy-go-lucky Dr. K to serious. He said, did you bring your bags with you? Yes. Okay, you're gonna have this baby.
I started feeling the contractions. I was just giving and praising and giving thanks. That was a reassurance that my son was alive, that my son was coming.
Hey, bye, school. We'll see you Monday. I'm gonna go home and be with mommy and daddy all weekend long, right, Dadas? Huh?
I enjoy thinking that someday soon, when a 15-year-old girl goes to her doctor and says, I don't know what I'm gonna do, everyone's saying I should go on birth control, he says, well, here's how everything works.
I wasn't scared anymore. It's important for a woman to be able to go somewhere where you don't feel judged, and there's somebody to listen to you and let you know that you have options.
I truly know that God led us to Dr. Calamarides and the VT Clinic.
I have a healthy 2.5-year-old little boy in my world. I'm a rich man.